with Gengras, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram in East Hartford. And today we are doing a test drive video on the Grand Wagoneer Series 2. So, first thing you're going to notice is you do have a passenger side screen, right? Now, from my side, from the driver's seat, I can't see that screen. The reason is it has like a privacy film over it. So as I'm driving, if you're operating that screen, I can't get distracted, right? So from that screen, you can control climate, you can control your seat as a passenger, and you can control HDMI systems. You can connect a gaming system to this vehicle and play video games on it, really. This one doesn't have the entertainment package, which gives you the seats in the back. If you do have the entertainment package, you would actually have TVs behind your seats. They would actually fold from right here, right behind the body of the seat. And again, because they are HDMI compatible, you can connect the gaming system. Biggest thing we're going to notice is going to be, once again, the dashboard layout similar to the Grand Cherokee L. Very flat, everything centered horizontal, massive screen right here. My favorite thing is everything that there's an icon for, you have a physical button for. Now what they did to make it as sleek as possible is you have actual buttons here, but if you look on the side here, this all just goes by your touch, right? On this one down here, you can do the same thing, but these, you want to put some pressure on them, and what they'll do is they'll vibrate right under your finger. I don't know if you can hear the vibration, but it's a toggle without it being a toggle, as technologically advanced as that sounds. Now, take a look at this screen here. So from this screen, I can control a couple things. I can control climate. I can control my seats as far as bolsters, back bolsters, lumbars, things like to that nature, driver and passenger. I can control the massaging on my seats. If I turn it on here, have different options for massaging seats. Driver and passenger again. What's this do? Okay. This will allow me to dictate where I wanted to start the massaging at. Again, control the rear climate. And this button right here, all the way to the left, I press this. It'll actually turn off and fold in, give me access to my charging ports, HDMI for the passenger, USB Type-C auxiliary, 12-volt outlet right here, and my wireless charging pad right here. And if I want it to come out, once again, I just press the button, it comes down, turns back on. To control the side screen over there, I can turn it off and on with this button right here all the way to the right. Now this is going to have the air suspension. This is our toggle for the air suspension, going from entry exit level, aerodynamic 1, off-road 2. When you are in the two extremes, meaning off-road 2 and entry exit level, if you go over about 15 miles an hour, the vehicle will automatically raise or lower, because at those speeds, we don't need to be that low or that high. Right over here, I have my toggles for different driving modes. Auto, sport, snow, sand, mud, and rock. Being in automatic, the vehicle itself will be able to judge the terrain and change accordingly. One, it saves you on gas. Two, you don't have to worry about having to manually switch it. Unlike a Wrangler or Gladiator with a part-time four-wheel drive, because those are mainly off-roading vehicles, you would want to physically control that if need be. If we take a look at the center console here, again, we have USB and Type-C right here. Fast charging chargers as well, which is always super nice. I can close this like this, open it back up like this, and tons of storage. So right here where my hand is, I push that in. So I open that up. I can go right to about my elbow on this. And close this up, close this. My favorite thing is just how the wood accents kind of play throughout the vehicle, whether it's on the door panels, whether it is on the dashboard itself, or inlaid through this console here. So what you're gonna notice when you get into this vehicle is your toggles to adjust the seat itself aren't where they traditionally are. they're actually right on the door itself. So you can control everything from where you're sitting, where your back is, lumbar obviously. That button at the very top, that singular button, that'll actually control your headrest. The black button right in the middle here of where it indicates you're sitting, you can control your leg extender. So if you are a taller person, you can make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. If we take a look at the headrest here, you can actually adjust the headrest to better cradle your head. So obviously this is as flat as it goes. Have your head bolstered as well. So you can control bolsters for your thighs, back, and for your head. So one, make sure you're as safe as possible. Two, make sure we are as comfortable as possible. This entire headliner is like an Alcantara suede mixture, I would compare it to. Everything from your sun visor all the way throughout your headliner. Garage door openers here. And again, I can control my sunroof, my sunshade, my tailgate, and a sunglass holder. They never forget the sunglass holder.
Never. Not in the Jeep.
All right, so what I want to do now is I want to just take us around the block. This vehicle, standard, all Grand Wagoneers are going to give you a 6.4 Hemi motor. That's the same motor that you find on the Ram 2500 pickups. So, one, you're going to get a lot of power. Really, you get a good amount of power. But because of the way that the vehicle is designed, it still feels smooth. You don't feel sluggish. Obviously, when you're in a vehicle like this, you're gonna weigh a lot, you're gonna sit higher. But what they did, similar to the Grand Cherokee L, is they followed that same engine on axle design. So biggest reason you want to do that is it's all about center of gravity. The bigger we get, and the higher our center of gravity, the more we're gonna be affected by things like body roll, especially coming around tight corners like this. Now I'm gonna take this corner pretty tight. You don't even shift in your seat. Now again, you have the bolsters to thank for that, but even being in the back seat, you don't shift, you don't move because your center of gravity is so low. What's really cool about this particular vehicle is the Grand Wagoneers run on a ladder frame. A ladder frame is typically reserved for like our 1500s, our trucks. Reason they did that is make sure the vehicle is as secure and as stable as possible. If you looked at our last video where we did an initial walk around on a Grand Wagoneer Series 3, it was a demo vehicle. If you look at that video, you'll notice that in the bodywork itself, in the panels, there's brakes in the panels, and that's part of the design. Reason is, just like a truck, because it is a lot bigger, you want to make sure that it has room to flex and move, take those bumps, so on and so forth. So again, as far as the brakes are super responsive. I mean, you tap on them and you can feel yourself slowing down immediately. You can notice from the back there, it does have a flat bottom steering wheel. So one, it's a lot sportier. It's a sportier look than what you would expect in a vehicle like this. And because of the seat, because I can adjust it how I want to, I can sit pretty high before I get any interference with the steering wheel itself, which is always nice. It's always a shame when you have to sacrifice one thing to get another, ergo, you know, being super tight when all you want to do is be comfortable. If you're a shorter person trying to look over the vehicle. From the cabin, you're gonna notice that the hood is actually tilted downwards, okay? So the hood is tilted downwards because we are in a big vehicle. It is a third row vehicle. Competitors are gonna be the Navigators, Escalades. Being in a vehicle that size, you need to maximize your visibility. That's why you get so much glass up here and you get so much glass in the third row. So Grand Wagoneers have the most glass that you can achieve in a third row vehicle. Reason is, if you're in the third row, you don't want to feel left out. You still want to be able to look outside, get that natural light in, and they follow the theme of having soft to the touch materials and really nice leather all throughout the vehicle. So whereas some manufacturers are going to give you a lot of black plastic in the third row, first, second, and third row is going to have that continuity of the same materials front to back. As we're going over bumps, you can tell that the inside of the vehicle was super quiet. I'm barely above an inside voice, if that, and you can hear me super clearly. The vehicle has active noise mounts to be able to reduce things like vehicle harshness, road noise, so on and so forth, so that we can enjoy that luxury experience inside the vehicle. If you notice from inside the vehicle looking out, the windows are almost have a rose tint to them, a golden tint to them. Reason is, what they did with this vehicle, it's not a traditional tint. What I mean by that is, instead of a darker or a black tint that you would see on 99% of all vehicles, this has what's called, I believe, a monochromatic tint, which is going to be able to give you better visibility towards the outside. You can notice it more towards the back rows, simply just because towards the back rows you're going to get more of the tint anyway. With this vehicle also comes equipped with Macintosh speakers. What's really nice about the speakers itself is, if you look at the logo is an old school logo that Macintosh used to use. The reason they chose that specific pairing is because when the original Grand Wagoneer came out, Macintosh had that same logo. Macintosh was just about coming out, I believe, in that same time frame. So they wanted to add a lot of callbacks to the original Grand Wagoneer. Again, if you looked at the first walk around video we did, you'll notice that on a Grand Wagoneer versus a regular Wagoneer, your hood will actually overlap, which is something that the Grand Wagoneer, the original, used to do. It would have an overlapping hood with raised lettering.